How do I find a job off campus is often a question that a lot of students ask me. So, of course, you know how to access the job boards, you know how to go to the networking events. So my tips aren't those. And in reality, I think, going to a networking event where the rest of your programs also attending normally doesn't result in getting you a job in the end, because if you think of it from a point of the recruiter that's attending these events, you have often 30, 50, 100, 200 students coming to you that night with the same questions, right? They're telling you like, hi, my name is blah blah, I come to this good university, I'm in some program and I'm looking for some internship, how can you help me? So there's obviously a lot of question fatigue at the very end, and a lot of times every student just is kind of blurred by the end of the night. So oftentimes going to these school related networking events isn't really going to help you secure a job. And likewise, if there's some community organization that also hosts networking events for emerging leaders, for example, I also think that it's nice to go to these events to know who's in the field and, get free food and, hang out with your friends that night. But again, don't go into those networking events with high hopes of getting a job at the end of the night or getting some sort of interview, because again, there's often not many recruiters or hiring managers at these events. So everyone kind of are like piranhas around these people, and you're just going to be a blur at the end of the night, and it doesn't really matter what you say or what kind of pitch you had. They're not going to remember it. So my advice, if you're trying to look for an off-campus job, is one, actually utilize your professors. There are a lot of professors on campus who don't teach academically as a full-time job, including myself. That's why I'm calling adjunct. Because I have a full-time job in the field I always wanted to work in, and it's posted in my faculty profile. And so you can go look up your school's faculty profile to see, if there's a professor that currently works in the field that you want to work in, and set up some one-on-one time with them and ask them for career advice, and also ask them if they have any networks that they can tap into to see if there's any openings right now to get you a job. So that's a way of kind of have cold calling, but also it's a good step, because it's not for the most part, most students kind of go to professors that they already know, so it's not as cold of emailing someone you absolutely don't know on LinkedIn. You'll likely at least get some sort of response and some sort of advice from them that's a bit more catered and personal compared to just cold emailing someone that you just randomly found on LinkedIn. And also my second point is that you should also cold call people or cold email or message people on LinkedIn that you don't know. And it doesn't have to be a manager. A lot of times when a manager is hiring, they will get recommendations from other people that they work with, and it doesn't have to be at the manager level. They might have an analyst that's a superstar that they really trust, and that analyst might recommend someone to their hiring manager for consideration. So don't just look at hiring managers or managers in general on LinkedIn to message. Look for other people too. Don't really focus too much on titles, but focus on what they did and how they got to where they are right now. And if that's a similar career path that you're interested in, because oftentimes if you find someone with a similar career path that you're interested in, message them and ask them how they got there, what they learned, because they may have stumbled upon a few walls, and they may have some lessons learned from you, so that you don't have to go through the same issues that they had before. So even if it doesn't turn out to be a job in the end, it's still a good advice session. And of course, if they can recommend you to someone else they know who is hiring or might have more intel into who's hiring, who's not, that's also great, because again, you'll likely be picked up and get a phone call or interview if you're recommended by someone that they know, instead of just being one of the random applicants that apply through a job portal, or you're one of the many students that they receive with random messages on LinkedIn. And now my third point is, and it's really important, is that don't be too disappointed if you don't get the job that you want in the end. because I think for the most part, for example, if you want to be in consulting, you need to break down what skill sets as a consultant needs to have. And, even if your first co-op internship is not in consulting, every experience that you have is going to add to you in the end and give you a stronger case on why you should get a particular job in the field, in 3 or 4 years time when you graduate. And even if you are the one that's graduating this year and you're looking to go into consulting, for example, in 3 or 4 years time, you're going to be looking for a new job, whether to climb a ladder, etc. Having different experiences is going to add to your profile, and it's going to add to your case on why you're a stronger candidate. So every job is there for a reason. You're going to learn different skill set. So don't be too sad if you don't get the top job that you initially wanted. But also keep an open mind, because a lot of people switch careers. A lot of people switch majors in university. You never know what you like or dislike until you actually try it. Thinking about something is very different than actually going through something. So it may be it's also a learning experience if you go into a job that you didn't think you wanted, but it might turn out to be something great in the end. For myself, I partook in a co-op experience where it was a field that I didn't really want to be in, but in the end I really enjoyed it, and that's what I currently do now. So take every opportunity as a learning experience. You'll have a much better, healthier mindset with this, and also understand that every job is going to give you some sort of skill set and experience that other people wouldn't have. So in the end, it's still going to be useful in terms of padding your resume and proving the case on why you're a suitable candidate for a job in the future. And then lastly, also make sure you utilize your networks, whether it be professors or alumni or friends, and then ask them to tap into their own network, so you also get access to a larger network. And if nothing is helping, also try cold emailing, because I think a lot of times job postings aren't posted publicly, or they get snatched up before they've been considered external applicants. So sometimes, having a recommendation from someone is a lot better than just, applying blindly to a position. And then one last point is, don't be too disappointed if you have been emailing your profs and your profs have been tapping into your networks, or you've been cold emailing people and you haven't really been successful in getting a job in the end. This is one of those things. Job hunting in general isn't one of those things where you'll get the job on your first try. You'll need to try again. It may take 20, 30 cold emails in order to get even like one interview or one phone call with someone. So keep trying. Don't stop just because you're not hearing back. Someone will eventually look at you and give you a chat, for example. So keep trying. But also, continue applying to job posting boards, even if it is a lot more competitive and a lot more difficult. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Try different strategies all at once, because again, job hunting is really like a lottery system, in my opinion. You never know which jobs they're actually open for public, and which ones are already snatched up and they're just posting for optically. So keep trying. Eventually, you'll also be the one that wins the lottery. But again, don't be too despaired if you're not receiving any phone calls back or not getting any offers. It just means that maybe someone won the lottery system this time, or maybe they weren't even looking at external applicants and they just had to interview you because for transparency. So keep trying. Everyone wins the lottery at some point, and you will too.